Hey, this is Brian Masters with Shiloh Coffee Supply and Hope Coffee. We are distributors of the Fracino espresso machines and grinders. Today we're going to show you a setup that you might experience or want to experience for your customers in a park or perhaps a farmer's market on the beach or somewhere where you don't have direct access to electricity. There's the dual fuel machines that Fracino offers, and we're going to show you the setups that you're going to need for that. They have two different machines. One of them is the Contempo, which is this one right here. This is a single group. They do have a double group and in that as well. And there is a Retro that has levers on it that is in a single group or double group that runs on propane or electricity. And the three things that you're going to need to do that, we've got them set up here. This is kind of like an exposed coffee cart. You can see underneath and see what we have. And so I wanted to explain, obviously you have to have water. We have a jug of purified water down there, and then we have a gray water tank as well. And then there is a flow jet pump that is pumping. Now on our setup today, because of the way we have it, that actually is running on 110, which I'll show you in a second. But from the machine itself, you have a wire that goes down to an external pump. So you can see underneath, there is an external pump down here in which this is bringing in the water from that, and then it goes out to the machine. So you can mount this external pump wherever you want within your coffee cart or coffee truck, depending on where you have it, and that's why it's there. The reason it's external is because underneath the boiler in the espresso machine is the firebox for the propane. So you see the propane tank here. That is how the heating element is going to be done. It's actually heating it from the firebox that is there, and it sits underneath here. We'll show that to you when we go to show you the setup and startup process. Of course, you do have to have some sort of electricity, and so that right now is running off of this battery. You need a deep cycle battery and then an inverter that will invert that to the 220 plug. So these machines do run on 220. It's only pulling about 0.03 amp. However, it does need that 220 voltage in order to turn on and off the solenoid and some of the simple electronics to run the pump as well as the touchpad for your espresso shots. So those are the three things you're going to need. You're going to need the access to water, your pump, your flow jet, your propane, and a battery with an inverter. And when you purchase one of these machines, you get the machine itself. It has obviously the cabling to that, but you will have to purchase all of the other products for that. It does come with the external pump, but you're gonna have to purchase all of those other products to fit the coffee cart that you have or the coffee truck that you have, however you want to set that up at your location. But these are great, and we will show you in the next video all the different types of connections that you're gonna need. Okay, we are showing you the dual fuel espresso machine from Fracino. This is the Contempo. We open up the sides pop off very easily from that. We've popped them off already, but you can see the copper boiler tank that it has, as well as the firebox underneath for heating that. And this is the electric heating element. So because it's dual fuel, it does run on full electricity on 220. And up under here, there is a toggle switch, which you can flip to electric or you can switch it to gas. All that does is turn off or on this heating element inside the tank. If it's set to gas, then it is set so that the water in the copper boiler is going to be heated by the section right here, which we'll fire up here in a moment and show you. So as you walk around the machine, the three things that you need, of course, is the water. You can see your water connection here. This is one of the connections that it came with, so that pipe goes down to the external pump. We'll show you in a second. And we'll walk around here so you can see that external pump. So this is a braided cable that came with it, comes down, and that is the out on the pump. This is the in for your water supply coming from your flow jet or other water supply system. So that's your electric side. I'm sorry, the water side. The electric side, again, has just a 220 plug that comes with it. You can cut this off if you so desire, put a different type of plug on it, but it does need to go into 220, whether that's in your wall or on an inverter to do this. And so that is the plug that comes with the machine. So the last part is a little bit more difficult. We've got, not difficult necessarily, but just not as common in America. It's the propane. Fracino is one of the very few companies out there that has a propane option for an espresso machine. And they've been doing this for years, many years, so well trusted. But underneath the drip tray, we're going to set that aside. You will see we've actually already pre-threaded this with pipe tape for that, but that is the propane connection right there. So in order to make that fit, we'll do this and show you the barbecue grill type of regulator that we have. We just have a regular barbecue grill propane tank with the regulator attached to it. And then on this end, you're going to need that beveled piece that you can get at the local hardware store that goes to a straight pipe. So you can see right there, you've got the rubber connection that comes with your regulator. You're going to want to thread that in there, and we're kind of doing this backwards, but you'll see here in a second that you're going to grab one of these double-sided female adapters here. You're going to thread that right on to that. You'll take this piece here and thread it on. Of course, I'm going to come back and tighten these. And this will loop through the bottom and connect right there. Tighten them down, and that is the propane connection. Now, there are many propane type of connections that you can do here in America. So you may have a different type for the setup you have on either your coffee cart or coffee truck in that, but this is the setup that we're doing here today. Once you have all those set, we're going to tighten them up, and then we're going to fire this up and show you how it works. All right, now that we have all the connections made, we are going to turn on the equipment. Again, this is the Fracino Contempo LPG dual fuel gas machine. We've connected it up to our propane tank. We've got the electricity plugged in. So I'm going to show you around here. If you come, you look at the electrical part. We have both the grinder and our espresso machine plugged in to the 220. So I'm going to turn the grinder on, just pushing the little button right here on the side, and you'll be able to see the grinder light up. This is the Luxomatic. It's a quiet grinder, fast grinder, and it works great for that. The flow jet pump down there, I have already turned it on, so it is ready to go. By the way, that is running currently on 110 from the house outlet here at this outdoor location. We could have had another battery with an inverter and plug that in, but for this demonstration, I didn't do that. So our propane tank is here. Currently, it is closed. So we are going to turn that on and open up that section here. All right, we got that turned on. We had connected up here underneath the drip tray already. We had connected the connections there for the brass fittings and fitted it with the regulator for the propane. So this is all ready to go. I'm going to turn on the machine. So there is the machine, and it is, you can see that the little toggle switch there is flipped to gas. So it is only going to pull about 0.03 amps on this. So the machine is turned on. And with that turned on, you'll see the light here. Now we're going to go to lighting for the propane. So the way that this works, this particular one has an igniter up here, and then this is your prime deal. So we're going to turn on the gas. We're going to prime it. Wait about 5-10 seconds, and we are hitting this igniter. And in that hole to the left, you can see the flame just started in there. So the igniter already lit the flame. I'm holding in the prime pump just for a little bit. Now I'm letting go, and you can see within that hole there that the flame is burning. So this is getting ready to heat up. Everything is on. It has to get up to temperature so that it builds up the steam in it. So we will, in the next video, as that heats up, we will remove the panels so that you can see the flame that is underneath the boiler as it heats up. And once it heats up, we'll show you how it works. Well, welcome back. It's been about 30 minutes since we started this propane machine. It has heated up. You can see here on the gauge, our heat exchange pump pressure is up to 9, and our steam pressure is almost up to 1, about 0.9. So this is up. When that was in the process of doing that, one thing you missed out on the video is that at the very top of this sight glass, which is a little hard to see, there is a sealer, or the little section there that will push up and seal off all the air into the boiler. And so then at that point, it creates the steam pressure. When you're doing that, by the way, you want to make sure your steam knob is closed so that it can continue to build pressure. So here's the machine. It is fully running. You can see it's still on propane. This is the flame size that you'll see down through the hole there in the propane machine. So it's running on propane. The electrics on this is running off of the battery with the inverter. And at this point, we're going to see we got hot water that is coming through there. And we have steam pressure that's coming through here as well. And then you have your group head. And on this unit for the Contempo, you have 4 different buttons that you can program for different sizes of your espresso shot. And so when you push those in, it will go ahead and start pulling that shot depending on how many seconds that was programmed for. It is volumetric. You will set it according to what you want for the espresso that you're pulling. So you have all these different buttons that you can push, and that will pull your particular shot that you need. Now, in order to program this, we'll show you that in just a second. Okay, we are back here with the Fracino Contempo. This is the LPG gas machine, and it has the touchpad volumetric system in it. And to program this is where we're headed. By the way, this particular pad is also on the Bambino and the other Contempos that are just fully electric. But to program it, you're going to push in and hold for 5 seconds the star button, and it will light up and start to blink. And within 5 seconds, you need to push down, and that will start your timer so that you can have your shot glass under there and be able to identify how long you want that shot. And then when you press it, it's going to stop that timer, and it's going to remember that time sequence. It blinked for a little bit and then it's off, and now it has saved that for this particular group. If you happen to have one of these that have 2 group heads, your left group head is where you do the programming, and it will automatically copy it to the right group head unless you want to program the right group head separately. But that's how you do the programming side on these volumetric Fracino Contempo machines. Okay, we have gone over the setup for the Fracino Contempo LPG unit and machine. We have looked at the water connection, making sure that you had your flow jet connected to that with the external pump. We've looked over the electric side of connecting it to a battery and an inverter so that you have the power that you need from a 220 volt. Even though it's not pulling a lot of amps, you have that set up for your system, as well as the propane connection so that you have that option of connecting it and heating your boiler with propane. So that's all with that one switch that is connected to what's called gas. And when you switch that over to gas, that is the setup that you will need. And we'll show one other possible connection for you here in the next video. Well, thank you for watching these videos from Shiloh Coffee Supply. We have great videos that you can subscribe below on how to use the Fracino machines, as well as how to repair or do any of the maintenance on the Fracino espresso machines and their grinders. Appreciate it very much and have a great day.